What's up guys, Alvaro here from Particle School, and in this tutorial I'll show you how to achieve this kind of effect, and it's based on a particle test made a few years ago by Matthias Miller. That's the starting scene. You can download it on this video description, but it's basically a tube here. And that's the school. You can put here the object you want to form with the particles. You just have to be a bit thinner, because like in this case, our original school is like much thicker, as you can see here. And you can get this thickness based on the particle size. So I made this school here really thick. Really thin, in fact. And I also have here a very tiny little school low poly that we'll use as a particle. And this cylinder here, this tube, in fact, in case you don't want to download your scene and start from there, it's just a tube like this. Let me just do it again. And I made it down like this, and I put no height segments and 15 cap segments and 150 here on the sides. And we're going to, and then I deleted here the bottom of it, and we're going to put a particle on each vertex here. So let's start. I'll press 6 to open the particle view, and I'll drag a standard flow. Here on standard flow, I will replace this position icon by a position object. Now put the emitter there. I want to show it as geometry, and I want to show 100% in the quantity multiplier. And I want no rotation for now. And let's put all the particles on the first frame, just see how it's going. Okay, and I want the particle location to be on vertices all. And I want to decrease the size of these particles. I know that 2.5 is a good size because I tested it later. And let's change it from realistic to consistent colors. No edge faces. And now, as you can see, if you increase this number, it will kind of fill the tube. But let's keep it simple to start. And this is speed. I want to be reversed. I'll press Ctrl X here. Now check it out. Yeah, cool. Now let me just put some more particles so you can see how it's going to work. And I want to emit it in 30 frames, because check it out. If you see here, when I'm increasing the number of particles, it's placing the particles in all the vertices, and then it starts putting again on the same one here. If we put the emit stop here to 30 and some high value here like 3000, it will do this effect. It's kind of cool. Okay. But this speed is too high. And okay. Now let's add a fine target here to make these particles go out to the school. So I'll add the school here inside the mesh, and I will use the docking direction set to surface normals. Okay, not cool. So when these particles hit this school surface, I want it to go to another event with a lock bond. And then I can lock these particles to this mesh here. So I'll add the school mesh here. And yeah, let's show it as geometry. Okay, but it's not going like really nice. See, it's a mess. So I'll change this. Instead of control by speed, I want to change it to control by time. This way I have more control there. And I want it to go, I think it's 25 with 5 variations. So with 5 variations, it will go from 20 to 30. Cool. That looks much better. Let me just show you something here. When my particles are, as you can see, it kind of gets this wavy effect here when it's going up. And you can get this effect using a random walk. So I will put the random walk there and I will create a new event for this target here. I'll just put it outside. I'll set it to geometry and I'll put this random walk here. Now check it out. You start getting this cool effect here. And this cool effect, it lasts like 15 frames and then I can send it to this other event here. So I'll just add a age test here. And as I've seen, I want it to start sending around the here 50th frame. And so let's change it to particle age 15 here with no variation, and then it sends there. Cool. Now let's add some M particles here, because in fact, let me just show you something here on the lock bond. Using here this force like 100, the particles, when it reach this event, it lock on that surface and it lock with 100% of this force. And if you decrease this, it kind of gets this wobbly effect that I think it's really nice. And then it just settle in a while, as you can see. So keep it like this, and here on the rotation I'll give like a 90 so it can rotate a little bit. Great, now let's add some M particles. I want to add some M particles on this event and this event. The first one I don't really want because there's some particles colliding and there's no need for it here. So I will add a MP word here below everything, define target in this case, and I will create a new driver. This new driver, let me show you. I don't want to use any gravity, not even a collision plane for a while. Okay, and to make it work, see it's not working, you have, every time you put a MP collision, you have to use a MP shape, and it can be a box, it's fine. Now it starts working, but now it doesn't really care about the fine target, so you have to use a MP switch here on top of everything. All those MP stuff here you have to put above the MP word, but if you're using a MP test like this, those three here, you have to put below it. Keep it in mind. So with the MP switch, I want to get the speed, the original speed for this from this event, and I don't want to use the speed from the MP stuff. See, now it's better, much better. But I want to add some collision here on this other event as well. So you just have to bring the MP word down, keep it below the lock bond, and you don't need to put another MP shape here because it will use this one, because in particle flow until now the particles can't change from collision shape from event to event. So I'll just copy this MP switch here as well. It can be an instance. Just make sure you're using the same MP word here inside of the MP word, the same driver. See, it's 003 here and it's 003 here as well. And now it should work fine. Okay, now as you can see, we have some crazy particles around and it's getting slower. So I will add a cache here on below the render, and I'll just increase this memory number here, just put some more zeros and it will get the maximum number that you can have there. Now check it out. We have these crazy particles going like this around here, and we can do two things to fix this. First is decrease the here on the lock bond. You can put a speed limit, and since my particles have like, I know it's traveling with 75, around 75 units per second. Let's change this to something lower, because I know that it's very low here when it reaches the school, something maybe 50. And let's see how it goes. Yeah, much better. But as you can see, we can't get much detail here on the nose, and the eyeballs are really small. And when we apply a blob mesh there or a frost, it will get like really weird. So I will allow some interpenetration here on the MP shape, and it's very low, this value. Like, I know that my shape size is 2.5, so I'll change this here on the MP shape to something like, I'll try 1 now, but I'm not really sure about it. Might be too much. Yeah, I think it's okay. Yeah, I think it looks fine like this. We can decrease it later maybe. And here, I just forgot something. On the first event, when the particles are... I don't want the particles to appear like this, like from one frame to another. So I'll just add a scale here, anywhere. And no, I don't want a rotation, I want a scale. Cool. And I will change this to relative first. This way we can animate those parameters here. And on, I don't know, 5 frames maybe. So I'll keep it on 0 here. I'll press N to activate my timeline animation. And on 5 frames, it will go to 100%. And then I'll press N again. And check it out, it's not really working. It's animated here, but those one here, it's growing, it's burning like this. That's because of the animation offset key. You just have to change it to even duration. Then it will be synced. When the particle enters this event, it will have this animation will start. So it works just fine now. Okay. Now let's create another event, and this event will be the event for the blob mesh. In fact, I will use frost because I think it's very fast and I have it here. So but you can use the blob mesh. I'm pretty sure it would work fine. So it will stay like maybe 30 frames here. Okay, let's keep it like this. Let's add, in fact, some variation of 15. See how it goes, and then change, and then send it to another event just like this one. I'll copy those three operators here. It can be an instance. Okay, it doesn't really copy it. Instance and instance. I'll just change it to a lighter color so we can see it better. And let's see how it goes now. No, it's going too fast. Okay, in fact, I did something wrong here. I want this age test to be synced by event age. This way, when the particles have 30 frames of life inside of this event, it's being sent to another event. In fact, not 30, but 15 to 45 between these. So let's update it. Okay, I think it's going too fast. I will increase this timeline here. And let's put something maybe 60 and 30 here. And let's change this color so we can see it better. Like this maybe. because the school was kind of bluish as well. Okay, now this the orange particles will start forming the mesh. Yeah, it's cool like this. Now I will create a frost here. Ink box, frost, and I will add my particle flow source, but I just want to use that event. Let's call this event mesh event. No, I deleted it. Yeah, it's fine. Select events and then we can get the mesh event. Cool. See how it goes. As you can see, the mesh is really high. I want to use meta balls, not blob, this union of sphere stuff. And let's decrease this radius. Okay, let's keep it on 2 for a while. Okay, it's very slow, so I will update it. This way, I don't know, it just goes faster. Okay, let me see how it's going. I'll deselect. In fact, I will change this display select. I don't want to display selected with edge face. I will select the frost, and I don't want to see the particles from this event here. I just want to see the frost. And then we have to wait it update again. I'll pause it every time this kind of stuff happens and it's taking too long. Cool. In fact, we're going to need like much more particles there. Okay, I will increase this number a bit. Maybe 4,000. And let me update it again. So let me just see here. I want to see when all the particles are on the last event. So I'll activate the particle count. Now scroll the timeline. So when there's no particles there, okay, it's frame 162. So let me just, I'll select the original school here and I'll hide it. Oh no. I'll hide the original school. And here on this frost one, I will apply relax so it doesn't get too rough like this. And yeah, 2 looks fine. So it's on 162, all the particles are here. So I want to delete them right there. So first, let me just do something. I'll select the frost and I'll press Ctrl V to make a copy of it. And I want it to be a copy, not an instance. And then I want to convert this frost 2 to editable poly. And now I have this mesh here. So on frame 162, I want to delete all those particles. I switched off my particle system pressing X that time. So I'll add a age test here and I'll change it to absolute age. And on 162 with no variation, all the particles are going to this delete event. I don't want to display here. Yeah, it's there. And where's my frost 2? No. I need my second frost. Okay, so it's gone. I don't know why. So I will delete this one and I will update this again. Cool. Now let's take on frame 161 And let's select this frost here. And let's make a copy of it. Copy frost 2. And let's convert it to editable poly. Now I'll change its color so we can see the difference. And yeah, here we have the animation and we already have the school there. So I will select this one and I will use something to create some fragments here. I will use frag. You can use whatever you want. There's a couple of plugins that you can use. Frag is free, so I think it's fine. Now the scene is taking too slow. I forgot to bring it back to the timeline to frame 0. So this kind of stuff starts happening. And last time I did it with 55 number of chunks. In this case I will do with 34. So it goes faster and I like this number. Now I have to wait a little bit again. And then you click on detach all. This way you have all your fragments, but this frost 2 here with the frag, it's still unfragmented. So let's just hide this one, frost 2, and now let's select our fragments. So just press H and get only the fragments. As you can see, we have 34, 35, okay. Object selected and it's all here. And now we have to put all the pivots on its center this way. And to make it really work, you have to reset its X form. Just make sure you do it. And then you convert to editable poly again. Now with all the 35 selected, the object selected, it's all the fragments. Just go to group and make some group of it, like school frags. Yeah. Now I will create another event with a birth group and I will put it here. So just click on add and get the school frags. Don't get it using the by list button, because sometimes when you use the add and click here you get only one fragment. And just update the object and hide the object. Now it's not connected there yet, so you can see it. Let's change it to geometry and here on birth group. As you can see, we have only one particle, only one shape. So if you make the group members on, it will get every particle in the group and make one particle here inside the birth group. And now as you can see, we have 35 particles. And I want it to born when those here are dying. So 162, I want it to born on 163. No, in 162 in fact. And now let's add some M particles there. So in this case, I want a new MP word. I don't want a copy of that one. So just click on create new driver and click here. Now this time I want the apply gravity and I want the ground collision plane as well. And we need a shape as always. So let's change it to convex hull. This way it gets the fragments shape. And let's connect it here. I'll press Ctrl X here and let's update it once again. I'm not going to replace the boxes for the little school there this time because it's really easy. You can do it by yourself. There's no secret on it. I can even share the scene so you can see how I did it, because there's some stuff to align these particles properly here, but it's quite easy. Okay, now as you can see, the school is just falling like this, and on the R&D it's falling by pieces, and it's quite easy to do. Let's just add a age test here and send those particles to another event based on its age and from 60 and 30 of variation. So just increase this timeline here to 300, and now it will be like between 30 and 90. It will send all the particles to this other event here. I can use an instance. Let's show it as a geometry and let's connect it here, yeah. But in this first event, I don't want the particles to fall, so let's add a MP switch on top of the MP word, and let's switch on the turn off simulation. This way the particles still collides, but it doesn't really move, and it's really cool. So it stays there, fixed it there, and it will collide with the particles from this event here. And now it should work fine, so I'll just update it one more time. I will activate the viewport render this time, because I might render it later. In fact, I don't, but every time on the last time that I'm going to update it, I switch it on. Yeah, that's it. You can apply some materials there. You can even increase this stuff here. Some frame factor for this second event, the fragment event here, because it might be shaking a little bit when it hits the ground. But yeah, I think it's okay like this. So I hope you like it. Thanks for watching. Bye.